What's up, Bills Mafia? My name is Devin Long, and you are now tuned in for the first episode of the Down South Bills podcast. I am a proud member of Bills Mafia from down south, and I'm just a guy who loves football. The things that I'll be discussing today are the offensive positives and negatives and the defensive positives and negatives. So let's hop right into it. The first thing I'll be discussing on the offensive side of the ball is, of course, James Cook. James Cook is first in rush yards over expected with 225. Jonathan Taylor has 203 and J.K. Dobbins has 158. He's also first in rush yards a carry with 6 yards a carry according to Next Gen Stats. James Cook has been spectacular for us this season. I mean, he's just been finding the holes, making all the right cuts, and actually just playing a lot bigger than his size. I mean, he's running through A gap, he's running through B gap, he's breaking tackles. I mean, this guy is just really playing up to that contract. I was one of the guys who said, yeah, he shouldn't maybe get, what he was asking for initially, but I feel like the number that we got him at was really good, and I just feel like he's really stepping up to the plate and really, I mean, I feel like if we hadn't paid James Cook and he was going into free agency, we'd be in some trouble. James Cook is having a great season, and I'm just really excited to see what he does next. The next thing I'll be getting into for the offense is the offensive line. The blocking scheme has been great as far as the running game, and the tight ends have played a crucial part in that, as well as the wide receivers. One person I want to highlight is Jackson Halls, who, according to PFF, has a 69.5 run blocking grade, and that's top 15 at his position. And according to Pro Football Network, the Bills' offensive line was ranked 6th before the Carolina game, and they performed well there as well. So they either went up or stayed in that same general area. But the offensive line and the tight ends have been great. Kind of contrasting that with some of the pass blocking schemes, but I think that's more so Joe Brady, Josh Allen, and not necessarily the offensive line. Because just going back to the Chiefs game as well, the last play of the game where Kincaid had the drop, but it was a difficult catch. You could see that the cornerback blitzed off of the right side, and Josh Allen was not expecting that cornerback to blitz. And it seems like even this year, the Bills do not really want to block their running back a lot, or sometimes their running back goes to the wrong gap, or sometimes they don't choose to block their tight ends. The Bills offense always wants to send receivers out on routes and send running backs out on routes, and always have as many routes in the combo as possible. But sometimes when the defense is blitzing, it's kind of hard to do that because Josh Allen, yes, he may be able to make one free runner miss, but he can't make two, three free runners miss. So it gets to a point where Joe Brady or Josh Allen or them together need to come up with a different thing to do, and maybe even the offensive line coach kind of incorporating the tight ends and running backs into these schemes, maybe all three of them together. But I feel like they really just need to get another element to the blocking in the passing game to kind of just handle some of those free runners, because if we get to the playoffs and it's the same thing again, I mean, I know just like you guys, I am gonna be feeling some type of way if they send another corner blitz or send a blitz that we're not expecting, and that somehow ultimately loses us the game. But transitioning into Josh Allen and Joe Brady, as the previous thought, Josh Allen and Joe Brady, I feel like they're doing a really good job for the most part, especially in the run game. Play action pass when we run it is really good. But just the passing when we have to pass is sometimes wonky, I would say. And Josh Allen, he admitted it in his press conference. Shout out to Joe Marino of Locked On Bills, who always has great breakdowns. Check him out if you don't already. But he even pointed it out that in Josh Allen's press conference, he mentioned a lot about trust. He was saying a lot about how he just has to trust his feet and trust the routes and trust the protection. And he just said trust so many times. And so I feel like Josh Allen just needs to be more comfortable in the offense, which is something that I obviously expect him to do. I mean, he's Josh Allen. To me, he's the best player in the league, so I feel like he's gonna get that cleaned up. But I feel like that's one of the things with our passing game is Josh Allen's comfortability, and also Joe Brady. Last year we had a lot of passes to the running backs, and this year we're just not passing the ball as effectively or as much to the running backs. So I feel like if we pass the ball more to the running backs, that will also open up our passing game, especially if we're not going to have them in to block or have free runners. Like usually the free runner comes from that side, the running back goes there, he gets the ball, and it's off to the races. Another thing is the injury to Joshua Palmer. I feel like that's big for us because he's one of our best separators. Him and Kincaid statistically are our best separators. So without one of them on the field, and in the case of the Falcons game, both of them not on the field, it really kind of hurts our offense because you need those separators, especially when teams want to run man and can have a spy for Josh Allen. It really makes it difficult in the passing game. Another thing to mention is with the trade deadline approaching is possible trade targets. And I'm not of the mindset that the Bills absolutely need a wide receiver. I mean, Khalil Shakir 46 yards after the catch above expected in week 8 according to Next Gen Stats, which was 5th in the NFL, and 37 above expected week 4, which is ninth in the NFL. So he's top 10 twice for weeks this year as far as yards after the catch above expected according to Next Gen Stats. So he is our, in a sense, yak guy. I know a lot of people want Keon Coleman to be getting some yak plays and Curtis Samuel, but everybody can't get yak plays. So we're glad to have Khalil Shakir for that. But just saying that to transition into saying that for the trade deadline, I do think that we should get a down the field threat or a proven separator just because it'll really open up the offense, especially with Joshua Palmer being out. I know that he's day to day, but just really feel like we could really use another separator. Not saying that it has to be a number one guy or someone who makes 30, $40 million a year. Just saying that another guy who has a speed element or a separation element will be really great for our offense. So that is all for the offense, and excited to hop into the defense. So just to recap on the offense, we have positives as James Cook, the offensive line and the blocking scheme in the running game, as well as the tight ends blocking. Honorable mention to Reggie Gilliam. Reggie Gilliam has been great. So sorry I didn't mention him. But then we have negatives or neutrals, I guess, as Josh Allen and Joe Brady from last game. Just in the passing game, Josh Allen was a little uncomfortable, which I fully expect him to fix. And then negatives as lack of separators. That kind of goes with Joshua Palmer's day-to-day injury being out, and Kincaid also dealing with a little bit of an injury. But that's all for the offense, and excited to get into the defense next. And now we're back to talk about the defense. Going forward with this podcast, you'll come to understand that I am one of the people who feel like the defense is the thing that's holding us back. I mean, in the playoffs, when we play against Kansas City, it seems like we're always giving up 30 points. And I mean, when you watch the Ravens, they give up maybe 17 points to the Chiefs, maybe 21, but we are always giving up 30 points to the Chiefs. And that is why we can't win. If we can get a pass rush generated in the playoffs, then I feel like we can definitely overcome Kansas City and finally get to where we want to go and ultimately get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. But that's enough of a rant, going off topic a little bit. But let's get into the defensive positives and the defensive negatives. So first defensive positive I want to go with is Maxwell Harrison. We have all been anticipating Maxwell Harrison's return. We didn't get to see him nothing but 27 snaps, which was about half of the snaps, a little bit less, but really excited to see him going forward, and just want to highlight a little bit of what he did in this game. He had about 15 coverage reps, didn't get targeted, but he just played great sticky coverage. You can really see his speed. He also had a great tackle and had a really great play where he set up the edge and didn't make the tackle, but he set up someone else to make the tackle. So really physical play, really speedy play from Maxwell Harrison. You can feel his speed, the difference of his speed as opposed to Trey White. and just really excited to see him play more. Hopefully he gets to run beside Worthy so we can see what that kind of looks like. Just to kind of mess with Chiefs fans a little bit there if we can get the win. But really excited to see him going forward and a great start so far. The next positive I want to highlight is Michael Hoecht. Michael Hoecht was really what the Bills defense needed. He was dominant in his first game as a Bill. He had 1.5 sacks and a forced fumble. That forced fumble, not Daniel Jones. I've been thinking about Daniel Jones because he's been in the MVP talks. The Colts are good, but Andy Dalton, that's what I'm thinking about. Andy Dalton, yeah, he had Andy Dalton scared. Michael Hoecht was just dominant. He was rushing from the inside, from the outside, and Michael Hoecht, you could just tell that he was excited to be a Bill and excited to be back from that 6-game suspension. And it also helped out Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa only played 27 snaps as on the defense, and you don't necessarily want Joey Bosa as a player who's often injured. You don't really want him playing all of the snaps or a majority of the snaps. And early on he was because of the injuries and also because of the suspension. So Michael Hoecht is just a great piece for this team. Really good in his first early game. I know it was the Carolina Panthers. Some people are gonna say it's the Carolina Panthers, but these are NFL teams, and the Panthers have some decent guys up front, and he just pushed them right into the quarterback sometimes. So, hopefully some of you guys have checked out Michael Hoyt's film, but he's just really was a breath of fresh air for the defense in his first game. Another positive I want to get into is kind of a neutral, kind of a positive. Haven't seen enough, kind of similar to Maxwell Harrison. But Jordan Hancock, Jordan Hancock has great foot speed, 4.42 at the combine. And when you're watching him versus Jordan Poyer, you can just obviously see the speed difference. Jordan Poyer I have as a neutral right under him because Jordan Poyer is great with communication. He's always going to try to be in the right spot, but sometimes just because he's a little older, his foot speed doesn't allow him to be in that spot. And it's just when you get down to man coverage and obvious pass situations, you want a fast twitchy safety like Jordan Hancock to kind of be in there just to kind of guard those faster tight ends, faster slot guys. And, people try to move receivers around on third down situations to kind of get matchups in man. So you really just want a fast guy out there because it's sometimes a slow guy in the right position is worse than a fast guy in the wrong position because the fast guy can sometimes, make up that speed. So just really excited to see Jordan Hancock hopefully get a little bit more run with Taylor Rapp on IR. And yeah, he's kind of a positive, kind of a neutral, just because we haven't seen enough, just like with Maxwell Harrison. So like I mentioned, Jordan Poyer neutral, kind of already got into him. And then want to get into one negative. Taron Johnson, kind of a negative. Not really. We won the game, won by a great margin. Taron Johnson's film had a little bit of hiccups in it, a little bit of man coverage hiccups. But I feel like Taron Johnson is the type of player that you believe in. He hasn't tackled well this season, but Taron Johnson, he's had great seasons, and he's one of the players that I feel like with better play around him, he'll get more comfortable and he'll be who we're used to seeing. So Taron Johnson, kind of a negative based on the film, but it's Taron Johnson and we got the win, and I expect him to bounce back when we need him to bounce back. Last negative, not really it's a negative. It's unfortunate. The injury to Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver was really playing great this season. Don't want to harp on it too much because we always have to have that next man up mentality. Us as Bills fans, we kind of always deal with defensive injuries, and so we're used to it. Hopefully, he can be back when it counts, as he said he did in a recent Instagram post. As he said he would in a recent Instagram post, he said he would be back when the playoffs come, or in the divisional round. He said he'd be back. He said specifically that he'd be back to play for it all. So hopefully Ed can get back and be the Ed that he's been so far this early season, but have to get there first. We have to get through the season, and so next man up mentality. And yeah, so those are the positives and negatives for the defense. Just an overview to everything that I spoke on. Maxwell Harrison was a positive slash neutral. Michael Hoecht was a positive. Jordan Hancock positive slash neutral. Jordan Poyer neutral. Not really negative. He's great with communication. I can tell that Bishop plays better beside him. And Taron Johnson just had feel like he had a bad day. Not really, but not really a negative. But I mean, I guess you have to give someone a negative, and if someone on the defense I'm gonna give a negative to, it's I guess Cole Taron Johnson, not Cole Bishop. Taron Johnson because of yeah, just because of the film and a couple bad man coverage reps. And then obviously the injury to Ed Oliver, which I got into last. So yeah, those are the defensive positives and negatives. And yeah, that's the pod. Please like, please subscribe if you like the pod. We're gonna get better. This is my first ever pod. I appreciate all of you guys who made it to the end. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter at Down South Bills, and it was great chatting with you guys. Go Bills.